Am I the only ENTP or NT that constantly has these kinds of existential questions? Or are there more of us out there questioning reality on a daily basis? Ever notice how some people go through life just following the script? Go to school, get a job, never question anything. But then there are people like us, the ones who, from day one, knew something wasn't right. I never fit into school. Church never made sense to me. Society's rules? Boring, forced, fake. And before I even had the language to explain it, I just knew. This world isn't what it seems. And maybe that's why there's such a small percentage of us. Have you ever noticed that? Most people don't think this way. The majority just accept life as it is, never questioning deeper truths. But a select few of us, the neurodivergent, the pattern seekers, the overanalyzers, we just can't help but look behind the curtain. But here's the thing. What if some of us aren't programmed the same way? What if certain minds, maybe the neurodivergent, the deep thinkers, the ones who just can't shut up about the mysteries of life, are actually glitches in the simulation? The ones who see too much? And if we are glitches, what does that mean? Are we broken code? Or are we hacks, exploits in a reality that isn't as solid as it appears? And think about this. Why is it that the ones who question everything are often labelled as crazy, rebellious, or even dangerous? Maybe it's because we aren't following the script. Maybe we aren't meant to. Alright, let's get into something I used to talk about a lot, but people either thought I had a wild imagination, or they straight up got worried for me. As a kid, I used to astral project. Almost every night, I'd leave my body, float above myself, and just exist outside of physical reality. And yeah, at first, it was kind of scary. Imagine being a kid and suddenly realizing you're hovering over your own body. Not exactly a bedtime story. And what's even crazier? I wasn't even trying to do it. It just happened. One moment I was lying in bed. The next, I was staring at my sleeping body from the ceiling. And once I realized what was happening, I started experimenting. Could I control it? Could I travel? Could I see things beyond what I knew? I started researching, but back then, there was almost nothing online about this. The kind of information I was looking for was locked away in books. And if you've ever had ADHD, you know how hard it is to sit down and read one of those. But now, type astral projection into YouTube and you get millions of results. Funny how that works. First, they pretend it doesn't exist. Then, they flood you with so much information that you don't know what to believe. Now, if that wasn't enough, let me hit you with this. I think I had an actual alien encounter, and here's the thing. I'm not even sure what I experienced. This is actually the first time I'm really talking about it, because even now, I can't fully explain it. It was just strange. I was in that state between sleep and waking up. You know, that drowsy place where your mind is awake, but your body isn't. And in that moment, I literally saw ETs leaving my room. through the wall. I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't hallucinating. I saw them. And if they were real, then what does that mean for everything else? Sometimes, when I concentrate, I don't just see it in the sky, I see it all around me. Every single day, in the first 10 seconds of waking up, I see grid lines, almost like what you'd see in a VR game. But here's the thing, I've only worn a VR headset once in my entire life. And I've been seeing this long before I ever put on a headset. So, what does that mean? Maybe we aren't meant to fully understand reality. Maybe we're here to push its limits. Or maybe the fact that we're asking these questions means we're already starting to wake up. But what do we do with this knowledge? Maybe it's about exploring our own consciousness, whether through meditation, lucid dreaming, or deep questioning. Maybe it's about trusting our intuition instead of ignoring it like we're conditioned to. Or maybe it's about finding others like us who also see the cracks. And one more thing. If the world really is a simulation, then that means we aren't as powerless as we think. What happens if we learn to break the code? What happens if we learn to rewrite it? Now that's something worth thinking about. Drop a comment if you've ever had an experience like this. Let's talk about it. And if you liked this episode, hit subscribe. Because trust me, we're just getting started.